Have you ever wondered how plants feed themselves? It's a fascinating process, and it's not as straightforward as you might think. When we talk about plant nutrition, we're not referring to a trip to the grocery store. Plants have distinct modes of nutrition, each with its unique mechanisms and functions. First, we have autotrophic nutrition, where plants like your common green garden variety make their own food, using sunlight in a process called photosynthesis. Then we have heterotrophic nutrition, a mode where certain plants can't make their own food and rely on organic substances for sustenance. But that's not all. There are also saprophytic plants, which feed on decaying organic matter, and parasitic plants that rely on other living organisms for nutrition. Intriguing, isn't it? So not all plants have the same way of feeding themselves, right? Let's dive deeper into these modes of nutrition. Autotrophic plants are self-feeders. They make their food by photosynthesis, a process you might have heard of before. Let's take a closer look at this fascinating process. In the simplest terms, photosynthesis is a bit like baking a cake, but instead of flour, eggs, and sugar, plants use sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. And the oven? That's the chloroplasts, tiny structures inside the plant cells. The primary sites of photosynthesis are the leaves, but it can occur in any green part of the plant. Now let's delve into the recipe of photosynthesis. The process begins when sunlight hits the leaves. The chloroplasts absorb this light, particularly the blue and red parts of the spectrum, and use it to split water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. This is the light-dependent stage, or what we could call the preparation phase of our recipe. The hydrogen produced is then used in the light-independent stage, the baking phase, if you will. Here, carbon dioxide from the air is absorbed by the plant and combined with the hydrogen to produce glucose, a type of sugar. This glucose is the plant's food, its source of energy. And the oxygen? That's released back into the air, a byproduct of this process, but crucial for us animals who breathe it in. We have two main pathways through which photosynthesis happens. The first is the Calvin cycle, which occurs in most plants and algae. It's like a traditional baking method, reliable and efficient. The second is the Hatch-Slack pathway, found in plants living in hot, dry conditions. It's like a special recipe for baking in a desert, where water is scarce. So photosynthesis is a complex yet elegant process, a delicate dance of light, water, and carbon dioxide, choreographed by nature over millions of years. It's a testament to the incredible ability of plants to adapt and survive, a process that sustains not just the plants themselves, but all life on Earth. So photosynthesis is the plant's way of cooking its own meals, using sunlight as its main ingredient. But what about those plants that can't cook their own meals? Well, not all plants are self-sufficient chefs in the kitchen of life. Some, in fact, rely heavily on others for their nutritional needs. This brings us to our next mode of nutrition, heterotrophic nutrition. The term heterotrophic is derived from two Greek words, heteros meaning other, and trophy meaning nourishment. As the name suggests, heterotrophic plants are those that depend on organic substances for their nourishment. Unlike their autotrophic siblings, these plants can't produce their own food using sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. Instead, they obtain their nutrients from other plants or from the soil. Now let's delve a little deeper and explore the two main types of heterotrophic nutrition, saprophytic and parasitic. First up, saprophytic nutrition. The word saprophyte comes from the Greek words sapros meaning rotten and phyton meaning plant. These are plants that derive their nutrients from dead organic matter. They secrete enzymes to break down the dead material into simpler substances that they can absorb. It's a bit like having a meal delivered directly to your door, except the meal is decomposed matter. The second type of heterotrophic nutrition is parasitic nutrition. Parasitic plants, as the name suggests, are a bit more devious. These plants do not have chlorophyll and are unable to perform photosynthesis. Instead, they attach themselves to a host plant and absorb nutrients directly from it. It's a bit like having a roommate who eats all your food and doesn't contribute to the grocery bill. So, from the self-sufficient autotrophs to the resourceful heterotrophs, the plant kingdom shows us that there are many ways to get a meal. Each mode of nutrition is a unique adaptation to survive in different environments and conditions. So not all plants rely on the sun for their meals. Some have rather unconventional dietary habits. Speaking of unconventional, did you know there's another way plants can create food? Well, it's not exactly plants, but certain organisms, like bacteria, that have their own unique recipes. Enter the world of chemosynthesis, a process that's all about the chemistry of life. Chemosynthesis is like the offbeat cousin of photosynthesis. It might sound like a science fiction concept, but it's very real. Instead of relying on sunlight for energy, these organisms tap into the raw power of chemicals. They convert chemical energy, often from hydrogen sulfide or methane, into organic matter. It's like having a tiny, efficient power plant inside them. So imagine a world deep under the sea or buried beneath the earth where sunlight is a myth. In these dark, inhospitable environments, chemosynthetic organisms are the superheroes, creating life where it seems impossible. It's a testament to the remarkable adaptability of life on Earth. Chemosynthesis, another unique way some organisms cook up a meal. Now that we've covered how plants eat, what about how they grow? This is where plant growth regulators come into play. These are naturally occurring compounds that control or modify plant growth and differentiation. They're a lot like the hormones in our own bodies, and in fact, we often refer to them as phytohormones. First, we have the auxins. They're the trailblazers, the pioneers of plant growth. You see, auxins are primarily involved in elongation of plant cells, which allows the plant to grow taller. They also play a critical role in phototropism, which is the plant's ability to grow towards light. Then come the gibberellins. These are the growth promoters that stimulate stem elongation, germination, and flowering. They're like the cheerleaders, encouraging the plant to grow and bloom. But what about cell division and differentiation? That's where cytokinins step in. They're the multitaskers, promoting cell division in growing parts of plants and also playing a role in delaying the aging of leaves. Now let's talk about ethylene, the only gaseous plant hormone. It's the overseer of maturation and aging processes. Ethylene regulates fruit ripening, leaf fall, and even helps the plant respond to stress conditions. And finally, we have the abscisic acid, or ABA. This is the plant's personal bodyguard. When the plant is under stress, ABA slows down growth to help the plant conserve its resources. It also triggers the closure of stomata, tiny openings on leaves, to prevent water loss. So you see, every plant is a complex, self-regulating system, with these 5 phytohormones playing vital roles in growth, development, and response to the environment. They're the invisible conductors, orchestrating a symphony of life processes within the plant. Just like us, plants have hormones too, which help them grow and respond to their environment. So, there you have it, the fascinating world of plant nutrition and growth. We've taken a journey through the intricate pathways of plant physiology, exploring the different modes of nutrition, photosynthesis, chemosynthesis, and the role of plant growth regulators. We started by understanding the fundamental concept of plant nutrition, diving into the autotrophic mode, where plants, being the self-sustainers they are, convert light energy into chemical energy. This energy is then used to convert carbon dioxide and water into glucose, the main energy source for plants. Then we delved into the heterotrophic, saprophytic, and parasitic modes of nutrition. We learned that not all plants create their own food. Some, like the heterotrophs, rely on organic substances for nourishment, while others, like saprophytes, feed on decaying matter. And let's not forget those sneaky parasites, which get their nutrition from other living organisms. We also explored chemosynthesis, a process that is as fascinating as it is vital. This process allows certain plants to create food without sunlight, instead using chemical energy derived from inorganic compounds. It's a testament to nature's ingenuity and adaptability. And finally, we learned about the role of plant growth regulators, or phytohormones. These compounds, such as auxin, gibberellins, cytokinins, ethylene, and abscisic acid, play pivotal roles in plant growth and development. They regulate everything from cell division to leaf fall, and even the ripening of fruit. Each of these topics is a testament to the complexity and beauty of plant life. They remind us that plants, though often taken for granted, are sophisticated organisms with intricate systems and processes that allow them to survive and thrive in diverse environments. Isn't the world of plants fascinating? If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more, please subscribe for more mind-blowing content. Until next time, keep exploring.